Traffic deaths outpaced homicides in Los Angeles in 2023 for the first time in years, a public health trend that continued into 2024. Other cities, including San Francisco and Houston, have experienced similar shifts. Behind every number is a name, and a family left to piece together what's been lost.
You either know her as Erika or you know her as Tilly. Her maiden name was Erika Santilli, so she went by Tilly. Tilly was such a good teacher that she made me good at pole. I've always been an athletic guy. We got into acro yoga and we started working that into some of her routines, and she would use me on stage for some of her competition pieces as what she would call her man prop.
Hi, we are about to get married. Yay! And I just wanted to make you a little video and say how much I love you and how excited I am for this and how I just can't imagine my life without you.
She was brilliant. She had 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree in industrial occupational psychology. The big thing that catches people off guard is they don't realize that she's also a certified forklift operator, a slip and fall technician. She was the queen of safety. That was her thing. Like HR on steroids is how she would always explain to people what she did. She actually found pole dancing through a Groupon and she fell in love with it. We just got the keys to this house and I was here with our friends, with one of her students, and we were discussing what dinner plans were. And we were all gonna meet for all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue. And she was gonna come home. She texted me that she was gonna leave a little early from the fundraiser and she was on her way. And that was at 8:59. 10 o'clock, she's still not home. And I texted and I texted. And we share location. When I looked at her phone at 10, 10:30, 11, 11:15, her dot was still directly across from B-Spawn. And in my mind, the only thing that came up was maybe she left her phone in the car and she's just grabbing drinks across the street at the Electric Owl. I called one of her other students who was with her at the fundraiser. Hey, is Tilly with you? He said, oh honey, no, she left hours ago. And in that moment, sitting around the coffee table with her student and friends waiting for her to come home, it hit me. And I was like, I think I need to go find her. And I was choking it back as I walked out the door. And I knew what I was walking into.
Simply put, the United States is in the middle of a road safety emergency. Crash deaths increased nearly 30% between 2014 and 2022, from 33,000 to 42,000.
I got to the corner of Sunset and Gardner as close as I could get with the caution tape and the police vehicles, and in the background you can see the white tent covering her body in the corner. And then I look down at my phone and I look at the Find My tracking and her dot's moving. And it's at the Wendy's parking lot a quarter mile down the road. And I'm like, oh, thank God it's not her. So I go chase the dot. And I get to Wendy's and I'm looking for her car and then I don't see it. So I start looking into all the other cars. Maybe she's in the car with one of her friends, maybe. And then I'm zooming in as close as I can get. And it looks like I'm standing on top of and I look crazy. I'm running around the parking lot. Now I'm standing in the drive-thru at Wendy's at midnight. And I turn around and I see the medical examiner's SUV. And I walk up to it and I'm like, excuse me, sir. Do you have my wife's phone in your car? And he looks me right in the face and says, you need to get in the truck. And that's how I found out.
This spike is not, I repeat, is not a global trend. The U.S. is an outlier. Among 29 high-income countries, we rank at the bottom based on per capita fatality rate. And our rate is more than double the average.
While Congress increased traffic safety funding in recent years, Los Angeles' goal of Vision Zero suffered from competing interests.
Vision Zero, unfortunately, got politicized by some and became about more than sort of the goals. I think the goals are certainly spot on. We want to get to 0 deaths. That's where we need to be.
And the auto industry is suing to challenge one of the life-saving rules that NHTSA completed last year. That rule requires new cars to warn the driver and apply the brakes when a collision is imminent. Unfortunately, rather than strengthening NHTSA, the Trump administration is undermining NHTSA's critical work to make our roads safer. NHTSA is also hamstrung by the Trump administration's misguided executive orders, requiring the repeal of essential auto safety rules before adopting the new rules.
It's a place for me to heal. It's a beautiful little place that I was trying to build a life with her in, and in a way, it gives me something to take care of. It's been very difficult because this is a lot to take care of by yourself, especially when your body's shutting down. And now it's just doctor visit after neurological visit, after MRI, after blood drawn, after panels and platelets. And I still don't have an answer except for we think that this is just the brain's response to extreme trauma and sleep deprivation.
The body processes stress in very physical ways, and the suddenness of a shock like that is a very different process than having someone get a diagnosis and be sick for quite a number of weeks or days or even years, months, and be able to slowly kind of come to terms with what the loss of them might mean, versus going about your day and having expectations for dinner and the weekend and what you're going to do next, and then all of a sudden having all of those things get taken away.
I have a lot of friends and a beautiful community who stepped up to keep me safe. So I'm not alone, but I am lonely. In this big empty house without my partner, I just got to figure out how to keep living. And the hard part with that is not knowing why. Why? And I think if we slow down a little bit and pump the brakes on life and really breathe, we can see things a little bit clearer. And I'm hoping that I can keep that message going.